Good morning, everyone. Came to bring you about a bit of morning cheer as I head toward my assignment and my hours have changed a bit. Um, I hope this morning finds you all well. Um, I'm I was thinking, it's kind of when your schedule changes where you're a second and third shift worker to being a first shift worker. I mean, even though your I guess your clock from your original clock was like, I should say original clock, but once upon a time you did get up in the morning and go to bed at nighttime. So now it's like, well, I have to somewhat train myself to go to bed at nighttime as opposed to when I used to be up at nighttime. But that's another story altogether. I was thinking, one should think at least 3 times a day, deeply preferentially. But I was thinking about there's a story that's going around on the web. It has to do with a teacher and a student. Uh, this particular teacher and this student had a conflict. There was a bit of I guess people might perceive a disrespect of authority in the name of the teacher, what have you. Uh, and it ended up being from what I've heard, I haven't watched the video myself, a fist fight. So now, me just knowing common sense, not even necessarily common sense, but law. I'm not necessarily a small fellow, and when it comes to, but I guess it's like you have to understand that there are certain once upon a time, I guess once upon a time you could kind of somewhat retaliate. uh no. What I'm trying to say is like that once upon a time I guess you still can, but it's more treated as more hazardous assault, if you swing off on somebody nowadays or what have you. But that's not even really the point. Well, I guess it is part of the point as well, because they ended up getting in this tussle. And from my perspective, and like I said, I ain't seen it, you know anytime from beyond whatever point that teacher had that student subdued, or even just under control, to the point where if you can't control what's going on and you're able to kind of get away from, I don't even know if that works as well. But I mean, your duty in a way was kind of I'm not a teacher, yeah, but I know that once upon a time, someone older than me told me I'm not gonna reason with a child, or because a child is a child. A child has a child's mind and child's ways and actions. But as the symbol of authority in the classroom, that symbol of authority, you would reasonably think that they had the particular training, the right training, in order to prevent from reacting, getting to the point where they're even pushing at a point. And okay, you'll say that, oh, well, she was telling the student this, that, and the third. Well, I mean, if the student is not listening to, why not put a third party mediator in the situation? Don't no longer make it a situation between you and the girl, where at a point you decide that you're going to take her phone. These phones to these children are like some form of controlled substance. I mean, it's right. I guess there's rules against having your device in class, but I don't know. Evidently, if she had it, it's not being universally followed. And number two, I'm certain that she probably wasn't the only person that had it. But you can't necessarily rationalize breaking a rule because somebody else does it. You end up being perceived as a snitch, a tattletale, telling on somebody else because you got caught. But yeah, man, it's like my issue was, it's like, okay, I'm sure that the youth, for some folks that have somewhat aged beyond youth, it's, I guess specifically beyond the age of children, the actions of the children sometimes upset you. They make you just feel frustrated, even sometimes angered, because they do a lot of killing. Some of, certain sections of the youth do a lot of killing. And, come on. I'm about to keep, nah, I ain't gonna say that. Somebody, this cat hit the brakes, slammed on the brakes right in front of me. But, and it's like, well, I don't know. I guess really I should get to the point. It just seemed to me like while in the discussions of when the child, in the discussions of what happened in the situation that, well, the teacher took all she could take, so she put something on that little girl, whatever. It just seems to be a whole lot of glee in regards to that the teacher whooped the kid. I just not get it. It's like y'all feel that if you're as if you're old and your old self has some form of comeuppance because you seen the kid get it. So it's like y'all holler, well, these kids are bad, da. So, okay, well, if these kids, and they identify as kids of your kind, or, they black kids, they're black, African-American, black Negro, kids, and they identify as yourself and your kind to a degree. to the point where if someone sees their kid or your kid, then it's going to be, well, they're going to classify you as them as the same, regardless, because of the tone of their skin. So it's like, well, are your kids, if someone like you said in your mind that you hear about this one particular story where this student got into this situation with the substitute teacher. You wonder, well, had the student had any previous issues with the teacher that was there, the permanent teacher? Is this just something that, is this some form of misunderstanding, per se? Maybe the student felt singled out, but, I heard somebody say, it doesn't matter even if they have some form of psychological behavioral problem, no matter what, maybe, so what if they sick in the mind? I bet that ass whooping straighten them up. But it's like, of all the problems in the world, all the problems you probably have in your personal, maybe your mortgage is too high or something like that. You're happy because the little kid, the teacher finally showed out that, when she started walking up on me, I'd have got it in. Y'all really, I think sometimes, when you write a comment, for some of you folks, when y'all write something on social media, Facebook, or what have you, y'all ought to go back and read it aloud. Just read it slowly out loud before you commit to leaving it up in the cyber world. Because you really, I'm getting child abuser. I'm even getting, just abuser, period. They ain't gotta leave it on the kids. You just got an abusive, you may think that it's righteous because, hey, someone said something a certain kind of way, they dared, assert themselves in my presence when they know what kind of nigga I am situation. But I don't know, man. That's really, and I'm sorry I danced around it so much, but I really was just trying to say, why was some of y'all niggas so happy? Cause the little girl got whooped by the teacher. Yeah, it should have been an issue that the whooping even have occurred in the first place. What is y'all holler the kids bad, this and the third. I live in Cook County, Illinois. These kids I can say these kids that, but it's got to be something that's the cause of the issue. There has to be some causation, for, these type of behavioral situations and circumstances that come from these children. And, the most direct course that the most direct point that you can point to would have to be whoever, raised these children. Whose kids are these? Yeah, talk about the kids, but what manner or personality or type of morals does the person that is raising this kid have? But nevertheless, y'all was happy. Y'all seem like y'all was happy as a lark, cause the baby got whooped. With that being said, I got to go pick my cotton. I've arrived at my plantation. I'm training for level 4 cotton picker. I'm gloriously reporting to Candyland, to Master Candy, so I can pick up my bag of cotton. I affectionately call my employment Candyland, my personal plantation. Peace and love to y'all.